Career Plus, University of Roehampton. ఇప్పటికే ఎంతో మంది స్టూడెంట్స్ ఈ యూనివర్సిటీలో మంచి విద్యను అభ్యసిస్తున్నారు అండ్ రీసెంట్గా యూకే నుండి #1 యూనివర్సిటీగా ర్యాంక్ను కూడా పొందింది. మరి అక్కడ ఎలాంటి కోర్సెస్ని ఆఫర్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నారు, అక్కడ సపోర్ట్ సిస్టమ్ ఎలా ఉంది, ఇండియన్ స్టూడెంట్స్ అక్కడ ఎలాంటి విద్యను అభ్యసిస్తున్నారు, ఎలాంటి జాబ్స్ని పొందుతున్నారు. ప్రస్తుతం మనతో ఉన్నారు విధి మిస్త్రీ, Assistant Head of Operations International, and Mohit Gambhir, Managing Director at Oxford International Education Services. Hello both of you. I'm very happy you both are here today talking about the education system in UK and the best college. First thing, University of Roehampton, that has been gained a lot of popularity these days in Indian students. What could be the reason?
Well, thank you for the question, Purnima. And before I answer this, I would like to ask you a very simple question. You as a student, when you're planning to study abroad, what would be the first few factors that you would consider when choosing a university?
Okay, I would go for ranking and facilities, especially modern facilities.
So I'm proud to say that the University of Roehampton is ranked #1 among modern universities in London. Roehampton has many features which makes it unique and popular. There are lots of things that a student would love being here. Firstly, we are called London's Campus University because of the 54-acre beautiful Parkland campus, which we get to call at home. Secondly, we have a proud history in higher education stretching back more than 175 years. Through the oldest of our 4 colleges, White Lands, we have been providing higher education to women for longer than any other university in the country. Our values come from the rich heritage built on community, engagement and partnership, with the belief that no matter the student's background, we can help them realize their ambitions. But what makes it even more popular, Purnima, is the support my regional team provides to each student. The benefit here for the Indian students is that the team is present in their own country to provide the support and the best of services 24/7. Our colleges contribute to the friendly, welcoming community that makes Roehampton unique in London for our Indian students. And I think Mohit would agree with me on this point.
Absolutely, Vidhi. Couldn't agree with you more. But in addition to all the virtues of the university shared by Vidhi, I think at the core of our values, what makes us different is that we understand the needs of our students, and through the support that we provide at the regional office, with the hand-holding that we give them, we make sure that we allow students to make informed and accurate decisions. I think that's what makes us special.
So where exactly is this university located, and can you give us a brief about the campus and facilities as I look for a university?
The University of Roehampton is located in the capital of the country. London is the most loved and one of the world's greatest cities, and Roehampton is situated right in the heart of southwest London. Now, southwest London offers something for everyone, from world-class sport, music, theatre to shopping, food and plenty of green open spaces, with Richmond Park round the corner and of course the beautiful green space that we have on our own campus. Roehampton is perfectly situated to allow the student to experience it all. In terms of facilities, we have first-rate facilities including modern technology teaching rooms and one of the best university libraries in London. We have cafes, student shops, on-campus accommodation, and lots of social spaces to suit all tastes, dozens of student societies, and excellent facilities for sports, music, and gaming. Our campus helps create a close-knit community that will help the student feel at home.
So your university is ranked #1. It's maybe because of the courses you offer, right? Tell us about the courses you offer and what are the best things in the courses.
Sure. So we have 10 academic departments with a wide range of courses for dance, music, drama, journalism, theatre, life science, business, law, psychology, etc. Now, all our courses are designed with the job market in mind. Whatever the student will study, they'll get to learn the skills that employers value. And many of our courses also offer work placements and guest lectures and talks from industry experts. We've also got an on-site recruitment agency to help our international students find part-time work while they're studying with us and full-time placement afterwards. All our business courses are accredited either by CIM, CIPD, CMI or CIMA, and upon successful completion of the program, they get a dual award.
So what will be the future of the student once he or she is out of the University of Roehampton?
It's a good question, Purnima. I think the future of the student is what the student wants to make of it. The courses at the University of Roehampton are designed such that they develop qualities such as creativity, adaptability, and confidence, which prepares students for the career and employment opportunities. I think in addition, one of the learning outcomes of the courses is to make students employable and ready for the market, to adapt to the challenges of the workplace with people from all walks of life. Also, students will join an ever-growing alumni network of the Roehampton graduates who are working across the globe. And I think lastly and finally, the biggest advantage is the students can work in the UK through the graduate entry route, which allows them to stay back and work for 2 years. So the world is their oyster. Make the most of what they like.
There is a huge vacuum in the industry right now, all over the world. So do you have any plans to introduce some good or other courses which will help the industry, which will help the fulfillment of the vacuum that is created in the industry?
Yes, of course. We've launched 24 new courses for our September 22 intake, starting from computer engineering, data science, web development, cybersecurity, music, and many more. I think Mohit would be the best person to explain about these courses and how constantly we update our courses.
Thanks, Vidhi. I think in addition to what Vidhi's just highlighted, the courses at the university are constantly updated, and new courses are introduced from time to time in line with the changing needs of industry and keeping with future demand in an international landscape.
Yeah, for any Indian student, we would really vouch for the scholarship, because you know the scenario of India and Indian students right now, and they are really talented, that they can go through anything in this world, Indian students. So are there any scholarships available, scholarship schemes available right now for Indian students?
Purnima, you rightly mentioned scholarships are very important, and we at the University of Roehampton are always keen to attract the best of talent, and scholarship is one of the ways to do so. Through the International Excellence Scholarship, we award up to £4,000 in tuition fees for both undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Now for undergraduate, the scholarship is awarded annually, and for postgrads, it's awarded just once. In addition, we also have an exclusive early bird discount open just for our Indian students, as we attract very high volumes of applications, and through this scholarship, we ensure that the seat allocation is completed well in time. We also have a Provost Scholarship approved by our Pro-Vice Chancellor for the benefit of the students in financial need. Over and above, we also run ad hoc scholarship schemes that vary from intake to intake, and for more information, students must get in touch with us to enjoy the benefits.
So once a student completes his course or his studies in the University of Roehampton, what does he do? He has to come back to India, or he has to come back to his home, that's it? Or are there anything that he can search for or fetch for?
The good news, Purnima, is that there are plenty of opportunities now available for students. So students that complete their courses can either get into employment or further study should they choose. But in case they decide that they want to stay back in the UK, they have now the opportunity to do so through the graduate route, which allows them a 2 years opportunity to stay back and work in the UK. I think this is a life-changing opportunity for Indian students through gaining international and professional exposure by working in an organization of repute in an international context.
So Mohit, what are the future plans of University of Roehampton in India?
We have very exciting plans for the university in India. We're looking to explore possibilities of transnational education platforms, hybrid and collaborative learning opportunities, institution alliances for knowledge exchange. So a lot in the offing. We're excited, a lot for us to explore and do in India.
So Vidhi, what are the support services provided in the university, especially for the Indian students, and how is it like life in University of Roehampton for the students?
This is my favorite question, and I have a lot of examples to give. So at the University of Roehampton, students will have the chance to get involved, find new interests, and develop their abilities beyond their subject of study. We have a wide range of support services that a student can use from the first day onwards, which includes financial guidance, well-being support, online learning, career support, and ample of opportunities to gain work experience. We build that trust with our students, and they know that they can reach out to us for any guidance at any given point of time. Now, as I said, I have lots of examples, so let me share one example with you. We had an Indian student who applied last year, and she was stuck at Heathrow Airport due to some reasons. It was 4 in the morning as per India time, and student did not know what to do. But since she had received that support, that confidence, that trust from us, she just picked up her phone and called on one of her personal numbers. Surprisingly, even if it was too early and outside our work hours, the call was answered and the student was supported. So when I say the support services provided by the university to our students, this is what I mean. The personalized support and how we make our student journey smooth is what I'm trying to say. And about student life, rather than me talking about the benefits of what the student life is like, and I have a lot to say, it's best if the student goes onto our website where they can hear other students sharing their own experiences with us.
So Mohit, any advice for the Indian students who are aspiring to study in UK?
Yes, Purnima, I think my advice to Indian students is, and I've been saying this all along in the years that I've been speaking to students, is I can't stress enough on the importance of research, as students often make poor choices under the influence of decision makers such as friends, counselors, family, amongst many others. Don't get me wrong, whilst they're all here to help the student, but ultimately there's no better judge than the students themselves on what is best for them. Through research and analysis, I think students can make an informed choice, and one that they do not regret.
So I agree with you, Mohit, on this, and my only advice is to first believe in yourself, understand your needs, and create the roadmap to reach your goals by being self-informed so that you make the right independent decision. I would say do not isolate yourself and make the most of studying at a UK university, as it will be a perfect opportunity to start building a network of contacts for when you enter the working world. Lastly, whichever degree program you choose, by embarking on a degree at Roehampton, you will be broadening your personal and intellectual horizons, and we look forward to welcoming you to our university.
So Vidhi, you have over like 200 courses available, like a PG for PG and graduation and PG. So what do you think about a student's mind who is from India? What is he looking for mainly?
Student from India, of course, they're looking for a degree that suits their requirements. There are students, initially when students used to study abroad, they used to go for a very common course, which is MBA. But now we have a lot of courses available in the market, whether it's digital marketing or global business management, global marketing. So at Roehampton, since we have a lot of courses, the students can actually understand what modules we are providing, what are the accreditations, and accordingly make a choice. Now, the website is designed such that the modules and everything about the course is nicely mentioned, so that the student can do the research and then select the course of his choice and not go for generic courses like MBA.
Right. And Mohit, the interesting point in this University of Roehampton is like like a student from India, he can take part in music, theatre and arts. That's really interesting because we have very few universities which provide this, right? So how did the thought that has come up, like we need to introduce like music, theatre and arts in the University of Roehampton?
I think, Purnima, the courses that are designed at the university are keeping in mind students from various different countries and not just students from India. And there are these specialized courses like music, drama, theatre and arts, where students from various countries are interested to participate and take advantage, learn and hone their skills and perhaps adapt that and use that in industry. But it's a very interesting point you make, because I've noticed that even in India the culture is changing. Though traditionally it was all about business management, engineering, computer sciences, now the mindset of students is evolving, where they are exploring their potential into various other areas and streams of specialization, which I think is fantastic for a country like India. This is exactly where we need to be heading.
And just to add, dance is not just the course that we provide. University of Roehampton is ranked #1 for our dance courses. So we get a lot of interest from international students for our dance programs.
Yes, and yeah, it is true that there's an exchange of culture, exchange of worlds right now in the East and West. Like, so how do you think? Like, how many students from India they are really looking forward to the studies in UK?
I think the number of students aspiring to study overseas has significantly increased. We thought that during the period of the COVID and the pandemic, there might be a slight slowdown in the students wanting to go overseas, but it was quite to the contrary. I found that the number of students wanting, because nobody wanted that gap on their CV and in their career, so they decided to take the plunge. And while there was this whole evolvement of a new education system, which was a hybrid education system, where part of the course was taught online and the rest of the course face to face once the student goes overseas, students have taken advantage of such platforms. And amazingly, though, we never thought that India is much of an online market, but I stand corrected. India is an online market. Perceptions are changing, mindsets are changing, students are coming out of their shell and they're ready to explore all possibilities of studying, whether it be online, whether it be face to face, or even a hybrid model.
And would you like to clear off the air for parents and students from India, the recent scenario that's going on because of the war? It's just nearby or just beside, so parents are really worried about that. So do you want to clear the air?
Well, any university in the UK, the environment is very safe for international students. So I think parents shouldn't be worried about it, and they should be encouraging their students, their kids, to proceed with higher education and not have a gap on their resume.
Yeah, I agree with Vidhi, but more importantly, I think safety is paramount, and that's the first thing that's kept at heart, is because we cater to international students. We know the importance of making sure that the students are kept safe at all times. If we feel there are any concerns and that students should not travel or should not come, we'll be the first to go out to students and tell them to stay back or to hold on. But at the moment, we have received no such notification, no such concern. So students, the mobility is open at this point of time.
And you'll be surprised to know that the amount of application and the volumes that we are receiving currently at Roehampton is from India. So I think parents have understood that how important higher education is and how safe it is to study in the UK universities. So it's going well.
Wonderful. And what is the competitive spirit in Indian students especially that you have found in the Roehampton?
It is extremely competitive, there's no doubt. There is various other, but I think competition is good, and I think that's what makes us stand out. If we didn't have competition, we wouldn't be here today. So we enjoy competition, we welcome competition, and especially healthy competition. But there's one thing that I still would like to highlight. What I find is that with the volume of applications increasing from students in India, because there's this deep desire to go overseas, there's also an increase in fraud. The fraud is in the form of documentation fraud, the fraud is in the form of interview fraud, financial fraud, etc. And what we are trying to do at the University of Roehampton is trying to lead on this project of what we can do to control the fraud, not just for University of Roehampton, but for the benefit of all other universities as well, because we don't want to redirect fraud. So if a student comes to us and we catch out the fraud, we wouldn't be happy if that same student then applies to another fellow institution of ours and conducts fraud there and uses that as a route to enter into the UK or any other country for that matter. What we're doing is, one, capture fraud through artificial intelligence and whatever means we can. And second is, once we have captured it, how do we disseminate that information across other institutions so that they do not fall prey to such similar fraud.
Right. And most of the Indian students, like especially parents, they will be in a quagmire that their children are going into different world and different cultures.
Sure.
So they may feel like, parents may feel like they are out of home. So do you want to give them like they have a benefit of doubt, of course, right?
Of course.
So do you want to tell them how the atmosphere, the friendly atmosphere will be there in the University of Roehampton?
Yeah, so it is true that parents are worried because they are sending their kids to an international country, which is so far, it's not just hop, skip, and jump, and you can meet your child. But I can give that assurance that once a student enrolls with us or even applies, the student is welcomed. We take care of all of his needs, we understand what he wants, and we ensure that he has successful, smooth, and yet entertaining journey while he is with us on the campus.
So Vidhi, how has the footprint of Indian students have been increasing to University of Roehampton?
You know, Purnima, I started with Roehampton when COVID started. So I started online, and I was worried whether, you know, students from India would want to go with the university, would want to study abroad. Before I started, of course, there was a fair percentage of conversions from India, but even after starting online with the support and services that regional office provided and with the creative marketing that Mohit has done, we had over 490% of conversion rate just from India market. So it has increased a lot in India market, the footprints have increased, and you know, once a student enrolls, he then talks to his friends, his parents with the support and the services that he has received. We see happy faces on campus. If one student is happy, he's definitely going to share his experience with his fellow mates, and that's how the fame and the footprints of the University of Roehampton increased.
Just to add to what Vidhi just said, I think what's allowed us to achieve this success is very simple. There's no secret to it. It's just transparency. We've been transparent with the students. Second is support, because we do understand, and like you said, since the children are going for the first time overseas, we understand the pain of the parents, we understand the concern of the parents, and we make sure that they felt so supported that they do not feel out of place once they're in the UK. Of course, we will try and make the student independent. That's the whole idea of why parents are spending so much money to send them overseas. But at any point, if we find that the students are struggling or wanting or needy, then we will step in, the tutors will step in, the counselors will step in. There's a whole support network that steps in to help the student out. So student does not need to be worried when they're going overseas, but I think the overarching objective, what we want to achieve through this whole exercise, and parents will agree with me, is to give the child a platform with a sense of independence where the student can learn to fly by themselves without having to depend on the parents and the comfort zone that they've been in for such a long time.
We will give that extra support, but at the end of the day, the student needs to perform. The student needs to absorb everything that he is being taught or that he is seeing in his environment and go out in the world and shine.
That's so well explained and well assured, Mohit and Vidhi. That's really so interesting. I'm sure students will look for an advices or at least getting into University of Roehampton, because the support system and the courses and vast you have given a chances for the students to get into, right? So everything will surely fetch them. I'm sure about it. And thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much for the information you have given on University of Roehampton. Idi ee roju Career Plus, చూస్తూనే ఉండండి TV9.